Hi, welcome to What's the Word? My name is Jeff Bergeson. I am the pastor of Cambridge Presbyterian Church, where our mission is to love the Lord and love our neighbor. And I personally love Jesus, I love people, and I love the Bible, and I love connecting all three. And so in these short segments that we're calling What's the Word, we are exploring a word that is important to the life of faith. And so today we are wondering, what is worship? What is worship? Worship is not just music. If the church gathers on Sunday mornings, there's usually a time of singing or music, and some people might say, we had really good worship, and then there was the sermon, and the sermon wasn't so great, but the worship was fantastic. But is the sermon part of worship or not? I would say that all of that is part of worship, but worship is so much more than just music. It is not something that just happens on Sunday mornings either. So in Exodus chapter 20, verse 5, Yahweh, the Lord, tells his people, do not make for yourself any graven images. Do not have for yourselves any other gods. Do not bow down to them or serve them or worship them. So worship is in connection with another being. It's what we give to someone else. It has to do with this service, this connection, this allegiance, if you will. Psalm 96 talks about singing to the Lord. So worship can include singing. Sing, proclaim the Lord's greatness, make music, worship the Lord, tremble before him, Psalm 96 says. Psalm 29 verses 1 and 2 talk about ascribing glory to the Lord. Ascribe glory to him. Everyone ascribe glory to him and worship him in the splendor of his holiness. It's so beautiful. So what is worship? Fundamentally, worship is ascribing worth to something or someone. And for Christians, we are called to ascribe worth to the Lord, to Jesus, and not just with our mouths, not just with music, but with our whole lives. This includes serving. In John chapter 4, verses 21 to 24, Jesus encounters the Samaritan woman at the well and talks about worshiping the Father in spirit and truth. That the Father is seeking those who will worship him in spirit and truth. So it's not just what we do, but there's a spiritual component to it as well. In Revelation chapter 19, verse 10, and then again in chapter 22, verses 8 and 9, John, the revelator, the one seeing these visions, sees an angel and falls down and worships the angel. And both times the angel says, don't do it! Get up! I am your fellow servant along with you and your brothers and the prophets. Worship God. So God, Jesus, is the only one who is actually worthy of our worship. Romans 12, verses 1 and 2, I want to read this. Paul writes, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So in that first verse, Romans 12:1, Paul is saying, in light of all of God's mercies, which he had been talking about for the previous 11 chapters, in light of all of that, give God your whole body, as in your whole life. Everything you are, everything you do belongs to the Lord anyway. And when we acknowledge that, when we ascribe worth to the Lord and give him our all, that is glorifying to God. And he says that is your reasonable worship. You want to know what's reasonable worship? Giving God everything, your whole self. Friends, worship is not just music. It doesn't just happen on Sunday mornings. It is ascribing worth to the Lord, and we do that with our whole lives. May we glorify God with everything in us, and may that be our reasonable worship to the Lord. Amen. God bless.